So digital storytelling here. I'll be talking about majorly about video resources, but audio resources also is a major component of digital storytelling. So and many components of audio and video resources or video contents are similar. So I'm covering theoretically understanding for both. But yes, the focus of the tool will be on the video resources. So first of all, audio programs or radio programs, which you must be hearing in your place also. It is like we are just talking to somebody and we are not able to see that person, right? And in the video, if we shift, it is a very, very powerful medium where we can see, we can hear. So more senses are involved when we are talking about a video resource. So when we are developing an audio resource, broadcaster or the speaker has to keep in mind that they cannot see you. So every aspect of the communication has to come through the words. That means if they have to laugh or if they have to cry, the broadcaster has to laugh and cry with them over the microphone. But in the video, our expression helps us a lot in explaining the actual situation. Now in these two, we have different type of resources for audio and video both. And there are different purposes where all these types of resources can be utilized. So this can be used as the first word which we used was digital storytelling. So storytelling in a digital format. It can be anything, but focus is here on audio and video. Also, we can use these audio and video resources for presenting different types of materials. It may be interviews, it may be projects, it may be case studies. So it can be a different variety of project. It can be just a demonstration itself. So depending on the content which you have with yourself, based on the subject, based on the requirement and our audience, the level of our audience, the understanding of our audience, we can choose audio and video medium, and in the medium a different format. Say for example, when we are writing also as an academician, we have a way of writing a report, we have a different way of writing a research paper, and when we go for textbook writing, it is a completely different approach. So here, when we are preparing audio and video programs, the approaches are definitely different. So first is the documentary. Now, what is a documentary? If you go by the word, go by the terminology documentary itself, it means something related to the documents. So it is not a fiction. Fiction means it is not an imaginative story, but rather it is based on the facts. What has already happened, we are trying to show it through the video or video program. So it is very authentic. You cannot bring in any of the fiction based things into it. The next comes is the drama. Now what is a drama? Here there is a message and we are trying to communicate it through a different way. Now if you remember the video which Dr. Indu Kumar just shown, the last video of that shoes, so that was a drama, but that was having a message. So that is a drama. Now, if we mix a documentary and a drama, it becomes a docudrama. Now here, the facts, the data has been presented in a drama format. So then it becomes a docudrama, because otherwise drama is just a fiction, can be a just fiction based or just an imaginative story that we are portraying. But in docudrama, it is based on evidences, it is based on facts, it is based on primary resources of information. Third is talk. Right now, what I am doing, what I am delivering, if you record it as a session and play it later on, it is a talk. It is a video resource in a talk format. Or what we do in our classrooms, that is mostly a lecture method, which we say, that is a talk method if we record a program in that kind of method. So all these are different formats which we can choose as per the requirement of our content and our learners. See, because a very small child will not have to view a documentary, but he might be happy with a drama. So we have to choose as per our audience. We have to analyze first of all the audience, the content, and then we have to decide on the format of the resource. The next format is interview. Now, interview, we all are very much aware about. We see in the news channels also, that is also an interview. When we, sometimes we also have interviews in radios, maybe a financial expert is giving information about where we should invest. What are these investments? How do we go about it? That is also an interview, and that is very knowledgeable. That gives you a lot of information about some topic. So this way you can also frame, say for example, teaching a topic of economics, you may decide to plan a program in an interview mode so that students are there, they can present, they can think themselves as maybe an interviewee or an interviewer. Similarly, then for any other subject, maybe for say for science, one student itself can become a scientist and show a demonstration of an experiment, and the other person can ask variety of questions from that demonstration. That itself will give a very powerful program, and the learner who is watching that particular program, the question which are arising in his mind are already being asked by the other person. So it is a two-way communication. Being in a passive format also, it becomes, very useful. Then the next is a feature. Feature is a very beautiful format, I would say this. Here, basically, for example, we have a place maybe, and we want to create a documentary about it. But then we are not covering all aspects of that particular place or a person also. We are focusing on maybe one element, one feature, one attribute of that person. So when we focus on that attribute and we are trying to show works related to that attribute, then it becomes a feature. It is a fact, it is factual information, but it is very focused on one area. So this way, say for example, in maybe history, when we go to visit some historical monuments, we are not focused on the overall entertainment purpose of that, or maybe a picnic purpose of that campus where we are visiting. Rather, maybe we are focusing on just one design element of that particular building, the architectural element, maybe the text written there, we are only focusing upon the text, we are only focusing of the script which is used there, and where all places the script has been used, then it becomes a feature. That is how it is different. The next is the magazine format. Now magazine, as we know, I think all of us have either read a magazine or at least gone through it, just like that. And magazine has a collective kind of resources. You may find a poetry in it, you may find a story, you may find a cover story, then you may find some jokes, some letters from the readers. So it is a mix of everything.